Last Jedi ruined Luke Skywalker's character, and I'm going to explain to you why. Now, I was expecting someone like Hello Greedo, probably my favorite Star Wars YouTuber out of the chaos of them all, to actually, not appeal to everybody and not go on the normal bandwagon train of saying, oh yeah, it's normal, he's supposed to be different after 30 years. I thought he would make sense, but he didn't, and a lot of the other Star Wars channels don't make sense, and everyone else doesn't make sense and don't understand the problem we have with Luke Skywalker. Here's how The Last Jedi ruined Luke Skywalker. This is going to be a little winded, but still. There's a thing called character progression. You want your character to progress. You learn Luke in Episode 4, New Hope. He's a kind of like, not a whiny teenager, but he's a little bit of annoying. He progresses in Empire Strikes Back, he goes through some emotional struggles, and he finally becomes the Luke Skywalker that we knew, lastly, in The Return of the Jedi. We knew who he fully was. He was a fully developed character. He was a Jedi. He was the guy who was willing to sacrifice himself to turn his father into the light side again. So, we get that, and then you immediately jump to Return of the Jedi. Luke is a lost person. He wants the Jedi to end, something he trained and fought so hard to keep alive and created his own order, and out of nowhere he just is like, I want to end it all. Okay, I understand this. This is confusing for everybody. So what does Rian Johnson try to do? He tries to explain how Luke turned because he felt like he betrayed and failed Kylo Ren. That is not the problem here. I feel like a lot of people are missing the problem that we have with Luke Skywalker. First problem is Luke tells way too many jokes in this movie. Luke is not a jokeful character. He was not the one-punch liner that they have in The Last Jedi, where he makes these weird and funny jokes and whatnot. The only one that made somewhat of a sense to me was her reaching out with the Force and him tickling her hand with a leaf. That was the only scene where I was like, oh, yeah, that seems like something Luke would do, just to be a little funny. But overall, Luke Skywalker's not the jokeful character like that. He's really not. And I understand after 30 years, your character's supposed to develop. Well, in this character, he regressed. He derailed, is what they would call it, character derailment. So here's my problem with this. I'm expected to believe that Luke Skywalker sensed in Kylo Ren that he was dark. I understand that. That makes complete sense. So in a moment's hesitation, he wants to murder his nephew. This is where I have a problem with Luke Skywalker. I don't care how long it's been. If you have the thought to murder somebody, if someone is standing right in front of you and you seriously think about murdering someone, you are mentally unstable. There is something mentally wrong with you. That is not a normal human thing. That is not psychologically okay. So I'm expected to believe that Luke Skywalker, the guy who fought so hard to turn his father from Darth Vader to Anakin Skywalker, to turn from the dark side back into the light, a guy who was completely already devoted to the dark side, he is now expected to kill his nephew, who hasn't even made his choice yet, which Rey made a very good point in The Last Jedi. He hasn't even made his choice yet, and now Luke wants to kill him? That makes sense. And then you can say, well, it was a bad judgment. It was the last judgment. I agree with that. That still doesn't explain it. Here's why. He still wanted to murder his nephew. There's no reason for this. There's no explanation for this. And then we get the Luke that we see in The Last Jedi many years after he betrayed Kylo Ren, or Ben Solo, whatever you want to call him. And he's changed and different. That's still wrong in my opinion. Let me bring to you to another series that I am quite fond of. Lord of the Rings. There are two characters I want you to focus on in the Lord of the Rings. The first two that we meet are the main two hobbits that we like are Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee, I believe it is. I don't know, I don't care. So, Sam is the kind of lesser character and Frodo's the main character. Frodo's noble. He wants to go on this adventure and he wants to, save the world by destroying the ring. Sam's kind of like, I'm scared, but I'm here to protect Mr. Frodo. And he doesn't really want to do that much. He immediately wants to go back home right when they get to Rivendell. As the story progresses, what do you see? Frodo becomes poisoned by the ring. You see his character derail, or regress if you want to really go through it. This is what makes the film a lot better, or the saga, the trilogy, my bad, at the end of Lord of the Rings better, because at the Return of the King, at the very end of it all, Frodo is a derailed character. He's not who he used to be. The ring has poisoned his mind, and you see this change. You see it happen over time. Frodo is a different person. Sam has changed as well, but Sam changed in a developmental way. He became a better person. Frodo did not. And you see this at the end. Frodo puts on the ring. He doesn't want to destroy it. Sam puts on the ring, gives it right back to Frodo, and he carries Frodo up Mount Doom just to destroy it. This is two different things that you see. You see Sam become a better person, Frodo become a worse person. This is what I wanted to see in The Last Jedi, at least. I wanted to see Luke change as a person. I didn't need to understand that he's changed after 30 years. People are going to change after 30 years. I'm 18. Am I going to tell you in 12 years when I'm 30 I'm going to be a different person? Yeah, I'm going to be completely different. But the point is, my morals shouldn't change. I still shouldn't think, oh, I might murder this kid. Like, that doesn't make sense. That is a lack of morality that people have of, oh, I'm just going to murder someone. That doesn't make sense. You look at this. You look at the show Breaking Bad, which is probably the greatest TV series of all time. You get Walter White and Jesse Eisenberg. I believe that's his last name. Still, so you get Walter White and Jesse. Walter is the good guy at the beginning and Jesse's the bad guy. It's the same as Frodo and Sam. They both completely switch. Over time, Walter becomes the bad person. He becomes the villain. He wants to run an empire. He is obsessed with power. Jesse, on the other hand, falls in love. He learns things in life and he becomes a better person that really wants to help people in the end of it all. Though he's still a little crazy, he's a better person at the end. This is something that The Last Jedi failed. You got to see the characters progress and derail. Lord of the Rings, you saw Frodo derail and you saw Sam progress. Luke Skywalker, you didn't see him progress or derail. You were just told, hey, he's derailed. And that doesn't make sense for his character. And I understand his character is different, but I want to see that change. I don't want to just be told, oh, he wanted to murder his nephew and get a couple flashbacks that make absolutely no sense. Here's the argument people are having a problem with. I don't have a problem with Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. I have a problem with Luke Skywalker during the flashbacks. I have a problem with Luke Skywalker randomly wanting to kill his nephew. That doesn't make sense. That's not in Luke's character over the short time that had passed and whatever between Return of the Jedi and whenever he wanted to kill Kylo. That doesn't make sense. That's not in his character. Now, I understand after failing Kylo or Ben Solo, I understand after failing Ben and, ruining the Jedi Temple and completely destroying him basically, that he's going to be a different person like he is in The Last Jedi. That makes complete and utter sense. He's changed. However, it doesn't make sense that he would work so hard to redeem his father, Darth Vader, and then out of nowhere just go, I'm gonna murder my nephew because he looks a little evil today. That just doesn't make sense, guys. But that's just me. I wanted to get this rant off my chest because a lot of people are missing the argument. A lot of people are going off of, oh, well, Mark Hamill said this, and then Hello Greedo made a fair point that actors aren't their characters. However, I would disagree with this in the case of Star Wars. If you recall Empire Strikes Back, Han Solo was supposed to tell Leia that I love you too instead of I know. However, Han Solo, the guy played by Harrison Ford, said I know. Why? Because Harrison Ford is Han Solo. He knows Han Solo. He is Han Solo. Reason being is because Lucas is not that great of a writer in terms of dialogue. And all he ever said to the actors were faster and more tense. They gave him signs for this. What had to happen? The actors had to become their characters. Yes, actors are not entirely the characters. However, in the case of the Star Wars trilogy, where two of the main three actors are only known for the two characters they played, I would assume they know their characters better than anybody else, because they more or less basically had to make them. Anyways, though, comment your thoughts below. Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me that The Last Jedi ruined Luke Skywalker's character? Do you agree with my arguments or do you not? Comment your thoughts below. I'm Star Wars Only. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you all next time. May the Force be with you. Always.